Welcome into a special edition of Target Score. Was supposed to be a lot more people, but just Bonomi and I on a late night little fireside chat about some light news that came out that no one has any opinions on whatsoever. Welcome everybody coming in. If you're not already, thanks for the likes in advance. Like the video. The ticker. Like this, subscribe, have the notifications on. Good to have you all aboard at Target Score Pod. Oh, I always mess up the music.
I like it. Play it twice.
Okay, let's play it twice. Target Score Podcast, Target Score Pod on Instagram, Joey Slattery TV, at Matt Bonomi on Instagram. Yeah, we have some reactions. CEBL Awards were announced today. And, well, let's just get right into it, Matt. With your initial thoughts, if you want to break some news here with the banner.
I just got the, yep. All right, just got a text from Tyler Mazaru. Chris Wiggins was actually the 2026 fraud of the year. Chris, thanks for not coming out. I stayed up late. For those folks that don't understand, I'm located on the East Coast. Joey,
you're on the East Coast. You're not in Atlantic time.
Okay, well, I'm Eastern Standard Time. D-Ball
it's
Sarah,
actually Eastern Daylight
Sarah's
time.
awake right now. He just texted me saying, "LOL, the ticker." Chris Wiggins is on the West Coast. Chris Wiggins orchestrated this whole thing to make sure that he was awake and he didn't have to tuck himself into bed early and whatever. Well, here we are now. Chris Wiggins is nowhere to be found. And as Tyler just texted me a minute ago, just getting confirmation one more time. Yeah, it's the fraud of the year. Yeah, fraud of the year, 2026 fraud of the year. So congrats, Wiggins. I'm sure you'll go back-to-back next year. Just wanted to get that one out of the way. And you know what? Actually, I'm going to leave that up for a couple more minutes, Joey, if that's cool with you.
What's that?
I'm going to leave that banner up for a couple more minutes. I want Chris to come in here and see that.
Sorry, we're low and we get 30 we get 30 minutes notice. I'm not complaining about a late start. And then before somebody badmouths Wiggins. Well, it's already happened. Wiggins has been badmouth. Cannonball Chris. He might pop in. He does get, we will say this about Cannonball Chris. He does get FOMO. So I feel like there might be a FOMO aspect of this. But he told us that he has family over, but he told us this after we had already scheduled this. I'm falling asleep on my couch because now that the season's over, my body's just shutting down. And I woke up in the nick of time for this. And yeah, I wake up to the text that apparently Chris won't be here. But nonetheless, let's get right into it. Let's bring up what we've got here. So here are your CEBL Award winners. Before we get into the breaking down and the reaction,
I'm just going to leave that up. I'm actually going to leave that one. I'm not going to touch it anymore. I swear to God, I'm going to leave it up.
What?
That chapped me, dude. That chapped me a lot right now. I'm chapped.
I shouldn't give you control of this stuff, man.
No, you shouldn't give me anything. Chris Wiggins shouldn't give me any ammo either.
All right, let's get through this. Let's start with your favorite award, the Fox 40 Officiating Recognition Award. You couldn't talk enough about this guy, Mike Thompson.
Mike Thompson, like day in and day out, just works his tail off to make all of this possible for us here at the CEBL. And Joey, I think this award is like, I know it's on the on the bottom of the screen. I think it should be on the top of the screen. I just have one question for you. Who's Mike Thompson?
He is the 2026 Fox 40 Officiating Recognition Award winner. Well, hey man, let's be fair. The poor officials take enough guff. They get a little bit of spotlight. One guy who dedicates himself to this in the summers, and first thing you do is smash him.
No, I think it's nice. You know what? Again, congrats to Mike Thompson. I don't know who that is, but I just think it's hilarious that we have all these player and coach awards. And like how about like team of the year or something? Like, I don't know what, like, I don't know. Like, anybody watching the CEBL does not know who Mike Thompson is. Again, congrats to Mike Thompson, but I mean, you might as well just give that award to Scarborough or something. I don't know. Like, I just think it's funny. I think the placement of it's funny. That's the only thing I mean. Congratulations, Mike. I don't mean to disrespect you, but
Mike. That was not supposed to take that much time.
No.
Let's see if we can get this in before. No, we're not going to be able to say before the 5-minute mark, but that's already gone.
No.
So clutch player of the year, Miles Powell, Scarborough Shooting Stars. No surprises there because now the way that is picked, it's the player with the most target score winners. Developmental player of the year, Easton Tim from the Saskatchewan Mamba. the CDIC, I love how that one has the net. CDIC Defensive Player of the Year is Kellen Tynes from Scarborough. No surprises. There could be debate there, but not crazy. Sixth Man of the Year, Frank Mitchell, Scarborough Shooting Stars. I don't know if you're starting to notice the trend here. Sixth Man of the Year is Frank Mitchell. Yeah. And then Coach of the Year is Tyrell Vernon, Scarborough Shooting Stars. Canadian Player of the Year, Tyrese Samuel, Vancouver Bandits. And the most valuable player, Miles Powell, Scarborough Shooting Stars. Do you want to just rip the Band-Aid off and go right into MVP here?
Yeah, let's do that. I mean, I think there's no healing needed here. I think you just got to rip it.
Yeah. I'm going to go ahead and say Miles Powell had a great season. He definitely got my second vote on the MVP voting. I thought Teddy was the true MVP this year. It's safe to say, and I want to let you talk about it because I am in Winnipeg. I see Teddy play more than anybody. I don't think it's a biased decision. I think the numbers speak to themselves. We'll get to that in just a second. But I thought Miles Powell, not to say he's not deserving, I'm a little shocked that he beat Teddy Allen for the most valuable player in 2026.
See, this is the good thing, right? Like, you had a front row seat to watch Teddy all season. I had a front row seat in the East to watch Miles all season. And I will say this before I make comment on this. This has nothing to do with anything that happened in the game against Brampton. I mean, I think anybody who factored the scuffle into this MVP award doesn't deserve a vote. I mean, that's, again, my opinion. I think it needs to be solely based on his performance and his play. This to me is insane that this just happened. I mean, Miles Powell, again, is a perennial player in this league. He knows how to score the ball. He helped this team get to 20 wins in the record season and this and that and yada yada. But Joey, simply put, his numbers just weren't as good as Teddy's. Like, you could just take it off of numbers. It doesn't have to be off clutch shots and this and that. Like, Miles, great. He gets the clutch player of the year. He gets there's 9 target score winners or whatever the heck it was, or 9 or 10. He gets that award.
Yeah.
But straight stats, like, if you sat people down that don't know basketball and said, hey, these are 2 guys that are going head to head for an award for the best player in the league, who would you take? I think most of them would probably look at the numbers and just say, hey, yeah, this is the guy. And it's Teddy. And again, it has nothing to do with the 54-point game or this and that or whatever. But Teddy was the leader for this Winnipeg team. And that's at least how we see it in the East, right? Like, we don't watch every Winnipeg game. We see the highlights, we see this, but there's a common theme in it, right? Teddy scoring 20, Teddy scoring 25, Teddy scoring 54. Like, Teddy is their bucket getter, right? And that to me is the most valuable piece. Like, without Teddy, I'm sure they would still be a solid team, but Teddy is the heart and soul, at least for the whole season, without Xavier Moon there, right?
100%. And you got to remember how many games that he essentially had a hand in winning. So I bring up this Marsh Mamba comment because it's a good point. I mean, Teddy, he says he's a Teddy guy, but it's not a stats trophy. Miles was clearly the best player on the best team. Teddy's team won 3 playoff games and a championship without him. Case closed, but Miles Powell didn't win you a playoff game, if we're going to play that, right? Miles Powell was in that game for Scarborough, and everybody thought that might be the difference as to why they would continue on and play in the finals. Miles Powell has more target score winners, and I've said this before in the argument. The thing I liked about Teddy not having them was the opportunities it opened up for other players like the Isaiah Osborns and the Simon Hildebrandts, right? Knowing how to space the floor, take the gravity, and set teammates up in target score time. The other thing for me too is, again, you have to zoom out on the whole season. And I think too many people were focused on that playoff thing, which, again, to that point, doesn't play in a factor because the votes are already in, right? Like, when the votes are going in, they're taken only on the regular season. So however the team played after, it's like, I understand where you're coming from, Marsh Mamba, but it's just, it doesn't come into to play in this because we didn't know that would happen. And he also had a few bad games in the later stretch. After that 54-point game, he wasn't that strong. But his team was still very competitive. He set the all-time scoring record. And he also was top 5 in assists, top 3 in steals. He literally played a complete game on both sides of the floor. And I just thought that, even from his efficiency standpoint, he was shooting better. And as much as Scarborough had the best record, there's times where Miles Powell put it in jeopardy. I mean, he got suspended once before. Could make the argument, he got away with not getting suspended in the playoffs. So, yeah, let's go head to head here. I'm just going to take this down. Thanks, Marsh Mamba. Appreciate the
Marsh Mamba's stirring the pot all the time. I love it. Marsh Mamba's got
this
the
is why
spoon in
this
there.
is why Marsh Mamba's here. This is why he's here. He's he's not afraid to put it out there. He's not afraid to test the waters with his opinions.
Mm-hmm.
How do I take off your stupid? So we can see everything here.
Oh, sorry.
So this is prepared by
Wiggins.
Stat Guy Ty. Thanks, Stat Guy Ty. So he's just putting the numbers side by side here. Like even in there's 4 categories where Miles Powell outperforms Teddy on that list. Again, I just I look at with the assists, 3.5, 4.5. That's neck and neck. But 2 and 1, 2 steals a game to 1. Again, I can kind of live with that. 2 is really good when you have 2 a game. But that field goal percentage for me too, he was 45.5% from the field. And his 3-point percentage is 34% as well. But I don't know. I look at it and to me, it seems like this was Teddy's award. It was better. He won the CEBL in 2023. His numbers were better this year.
You know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of when Jose Altuve beat Aaron Judge for the AL MVP and Judge had better numbers and people still talk about it. This is exactly what I think we've been given here. I think we're still going to be talking about this. And the thing that I don't like straight up, just before I get into this next point, because I'm going to go off here in a sec, the fact that Teddy almost shot 10% better than him from the field, to me, is also another thing. And there was a comment in here a minute ago. I don't know if it was Flexo or someone just said Teddy slumped at the end of the season. Well, Teddy slumped and he still had better numbers. And the other thing,
legit, yeah, sorry.
It just makes no sense. The other thing too that bothers me is, if you watch Miles Powell play, Miles Powell scores. I just called him a perennial scorer a minute ago. He can score the basketball. He's impressive to watch. He's an NBA experienced guy, but he shoots so much. And in my mind, I'm thinking, if you're taking 25 shots a game, so does Teddy, but Teddy shoots at a better clip. So it's one of those things where it's almost a weird kind of argument where if it's if he shoots so much, then he's going to score. Well, in Teddy's case, he shoots a lot and he does score.
Yeah.
And you're looking at 5 whole points. I think it was 5 points plus for Teddy over Miles. But this is the thing that bothers me about this award. Last year, Mitch Creek, obviously, as you can see right there, was the 2025 winner. 2024, there was some controversy over Tajay Moore, and some people thought that he shouldn't have won and this and that. There's always going to be opinion, but there's a little more beef that year. Last year, there was beef because people thought Shawnice should have won. And there was a lot of talk about that. It almost seems like there have been more unhappy people than happy people. And this year is going to be another one of those situations where it almost takes a shot at the legitimacy of the award. Xavier Moon winning it 3 years in a row. I mean, he is what he is. Teddy Allen winning it, or Khalil Ahmad winning it in 2022. Another, again, outstanding performance. Teddy Allen 2023, his numbers were even better that year than they were this year, or comparable or better. But I just feel like this award has somewhat lost its legitimacy. And I don't say that because somebody's sitting at the front office and being like, hey, well, this is who we're going to pick. No, this is media and teams that nominate players. And every team gets a chance to nominate 2 players for each award. And then we get to vote based on that pool. So it's not like someone is sitting at home being like, hey, well, let's just screw up everybody's lives and try to do this instead of this guy and try to tick off Mike Thompson. No, just kidding, Mike. Congrats. But the thing that Fox 40 whistle of the year. But the thing that bothers me is the fact that we have options to pick here, and people are picking the guy that had a worse season.
Yeah.
Again, I just said to you a minute ago, people that don't know basketball that vote on this could sit here and say, well, you know what? There's an obvious answer here based on the numbers. Some guy played 3 more games. He averaged 5 more points a game. He shot better from the field, almost 10%. That's enough of a no-brainer. And look at the rebounds, man. 4 more rebounds a game.
Yeah.
I mean, what does Powell have on him? Assists
the other thing for me too
score winners?
is the playing time. You talk about value. Teddy was eating up 35 minutes of playing time. right? So he's out there more. He's depended on more. The offense was way more dependent on him throughout the season. When Xavier Moon came, it was a different story. But you have to remember, he was only there for 5 regular season games. I mean, if you want to make the argument, Xavier Moon would probably be the front runner if he played a full season. I could buy into that. And here's the thing. I honestly think if there's no Teddy season, then yeah, like Miles Powell is probably the MVP. And I have to give Miles Powell, in a market that doesn't get, the coverage of, say, a Winnipeg. We talked a lot about Miles Powell. He got himself a lot of screen time and a lot of conversation. But I also think that Scarborough team, I mean, you're playing with a Frank Mitchell who was really good. Turk Smith came in, was really good. And oh my goodness, speaking of people coming in the nick of time, are we ready for this? Hold on. If we're gonna do this, we're gonna do this right. This is.
Wait, I got a little something first.
This is amazing. It's Cannonball Chris Wiggins gracing us with his presence. Cannonball Chris.
Run it.
It's absolutely great to see you here.
Take it all back.
Thank you. Is this thing on? Is it working? Can you hear me okay? I wanted to be precisely 36 minutes late. Are you guys catching on? Picking up what I'm putting down? Yes? No? Maybe?
36 minutes late?
36%?
36%? It's 38%.
Yes, no, 38. It's 38. It's 38.
Yeah, no, I thought that's where you were going. But yeah, no, you're off. So do you want to leave or come back?
Come back in 3 minutes?
For Matt Bonomi. Jeez, where were you guys? Cinnamon Bun Chris? I'm just looking at the comments here. Like, what did I miss?
Don't read the comments. Don't read the comments. Everything we said about you was positive. I never said anything bad about you.
I'm sure. Okay.
Did you see the breaking news? The breaking news thing on the top?
Yes, here? I see that. Yeah, who's controlling that? Is that Bonomi or is that you?
Think?
I'm not allowed to touch any buttons.
Oh, okay,
yeah, right.
Okay. Where did we leave off, guys?
So you're in perfect.
Opinion.
We just started, and we
Am I
were
allowed
talking
to have
about
a drink on this show or no?
100% for sure.
Okay, great. Cheers,
Keep setting
boys.
that example for the children. Just how many of those are you going to have before he just starts loose lips and dropping F bombs left, right, and center? No, I'm concerned.
Either that or an F bomb. Yeah.
So okay, we just put up these stats here, Chris. So this is comparing all of the MVPs and their numbers since 2019, and we're trying to place where Miles Powell kind of adds up compared to other people. The Xavier Moon ones are tough, especially that 2020 year because it was that 6-game bubble. But yeah, we're looking at it. Basically, Matt and I have said that we believe Teddy Allen was snubbed on this MVP.
Oh, I would agree. I would agree.
Miles Powell had a great season. I think if there's no Teddy Allen, he's probably the MVP. And that's the thing. Like I said before, I'm like they both had great seasons, or deserving, but I do believe that Teddy Allen was most deserving of this award. What are you doing,
bro? What is Ralph Wiggins? What does this mean?
Isn't it Ralph Wiggum? Chief Wiggum? Isn't that the guy from The Simpsons?
That's awesome. It is.
Isn't it Ralph Wiggum? Look, man, I just looked at the points per game here, like, and I realize,
Hold on, I'm gonna mute Bonomi. He's broken.
Okay, fair enough. I realize Mitch Creek only played 3 games, so like you can't really say much about his statistical categories. Dane Danger 4 games, but Miles Powell's in the 7th position. And I'm not saying points per game is the be all end all of most valuable player. I'm certainly not. But you okay?
It's late over there. He's in like a delusion hour.
I've been up for 48 hours waiting for you to come on here.
Look at the numbers on this podcast. This is like 29 people watching at the moment. Like, this is some good stuff. And we're not.
We only had 3 until you came in. It's just like we got the Western rush.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think Teddy was snubbed as well. And look, I just like. Listen, man, the league has to reward Scarborough in some way, shape, or form, right? Like, I mean, I would love to. I saw a couple of comments that were like, "Show us the tallies, show us the vote count." Like, I would love to see that myself as well. Like, I'll give you my votes. My votes were Teddy Allen. My votes were Tyrell Vernon. My second Coach of the Year vote was Dave DeVero, and I actually arguably think it could have been him considering what he did in Calgary. What's that look for, Bonomi? You don't agree with the DD?
No, I don't agree at all. But that's not my vote. I agree with you though in the sense that they should every vote should be made public. I think it should be like the Hall of Fame, baseball Hall of Fame, or the baseball Hall of Fame.
Those are my top three. And I did vote for Frank Mitchell. I did vote for Frank Mitchell, Sixth Man of the Year. So though, I mean, yeah, I don't know, man. Like I think Teddy was a big snub for sure. But like, look, Donovan Bennett said it the other day on our show. Like, we love the pettiness, we love the comments, we love the players going back and forth at each other, and that's exactly what we saw.
The true gift is the comment section right now.
I mean, the comment section is unbelievable. You could like get your popcorn ready for the comment section, man. Like you could spend a few hours going through those comments. But yeah, I'm not surprised Teddy spoke up the way he did. And I think it's awesome that Miles responded. Like I think, like fans love that stuff, man. So, but I do think Teddy got snubbed.
Dude, I think the best thing I saw all day was the comment section was the real MVP.
Yeah.
Dude, seeing like the best exchange was, and if you haven't seen this yet, go look at it. Teddy saying 23 and 38 or something, and then Miles Powell saying like, "Don't worry, I'll hold the league down," and then Teddy saying, "Yeah, there's a 38% chance you're gonna hold the league down." Or something.
The hobo comment, like somebody off the streets could have put up 38%. Like,
what is going on?
I very much disagree.
Here's what I'm saying, dude. From a marketing standpoint, both those guys need to come back next year.
Yes, 100%.
I want Teddy, because we didn't get that matchup in Winnipeg, dude. If Miles Powell comes into Winnipeg as a Scarborough shooting star next year, and Teddy Allen is on the Winnipeg Sea Bears, I would be marketing the hell out of that game. I would be putting their faces on billboards, commercials. I'd be running their highlights. I would be like, it would be pure popcorn if those two came back, just the way that they've been going at each other. And I love the passion. I love that they're taking it that seriously. And I love, because Teddy Allen's been pretty low key about the MVP all year. And now he's like, no. I like, that meant something to me. You know what I mean? Like, I love the passion we've seen this season from players, as much as not all of it was positive. I don't think pro athletes should be in the comment section about awards that they were involved in, but I'm very grateful that it's happening.
And to add to it too, dude, we had Trenton Flowers of Brampton saying like he went off and he got into it. The one exchange he got into, dude, is priceless. He says something about like, I had, I don't know, 20 plus points in every.
He just took himself off.
What happened?
I didn't take myself off. I didn't my hand on the mouse, man. My hand was up here. Trenton Flowers was in the comments saying he had 20 plus points every game and this and that and whatever. And if he had more of a runway, in all honesty, he probably would have been in consideration. Like, he's a top 10 player in the league, in my opinion, but he needed more runway. He only played a chunk of the season. And some fan said, like, rumor has it the wave takes 11 minutes at the CAA Center because the same guy needs to run around the whole. And then Trenton's going back at him, and then you got.
Was that somebody in the chat? I think that was someone from like one of our viewers in the chat that put that.
Was it?
I can't remember the name. I want to say Roloan, but I'm not sure if it was Roloan. But I saw the name, and I could have sworn it was someone that like has a similar handle for our shows.
Man, it was, and then you have Khalil Ahmad posting just the laughing face, which is kind of cryptic.
Oh yeah, is that in terms of MVP for Khalil Ahmad, or like what is that reaction like?
I honestly don't know. I didn't even see that.
What I was trying to figure out, like, was he snubbed? Does he think he was snubbed for MVP? Does he think he was snubbed for Clutch Player of the Year? Like, I mean, the shot against Scarborough was pretty damn clutch. Like, you know,
well, he's won the most, Khalil Ahmad. But let's be fair. Khalil Ahmad. You know, he's very much a competitive guy, but this was not his year for MVP. I don't think anybody was sitting here thinking,
no,
Khalil Ahmad getting Niagara like barely into the playoffs is our guy. Like, it was very much a 2-horse race. If I've already said it on past episodes, but my votes for MVP were Teddy 1, Miles 2, TDM 3.
Exactly mine.
Great minds think alike, Chris Wiggins.
Yeah.
Smart and handsome. Lucky you.
Exactly.
What did I have? I had Teddy, Miles, and Javonte Smart.
And Javonte Smart was like right there for me.
For that too. Totally.
Yeah. And even for TDM, it's like I knew he wasn't going to get MVP votes. That was just my way of saying like he deserves at least a vote for the season that he had and what he was able to, you know, all the arguments against Teddy. Well, then you have to make an argument for TDM because when the season got towards the end, he only got stronger and willed that Saskatoon team to a 6-1 record into the playoffs. So then you can't just shut out TDM if you're going to make the argument that Teddy didn't deserve MVP because of the last 4 games.
Do we have a screenshot of any of the comments? From Teddy and from
no, let's see if I can pull them
and
up
from
here.
Miles.
I also
Powell and
don't buy.
They are unbelievably good.
I also don't buy Teddy saying he's not coming back.
No, I agree.
Yeah, that's like
I
Mitch Creek saying. So next year, Teddy Allen's going to come back for 3 games.
Like I
don't know, man. Like
that's how that trends.
I said to Bonomi today, like it takes a certain person or a certain organization or a certain general manager to be like, let's bring Teddy in. Like we all know Teddy is a head case. So is Tajay Moore, right? Teddy's been like, yes, he's matured a little bit, but is he really that much mature than we've seen in the past few years? I mean, they're all going to say that in Winnipeg. Joey, you see it every,
But here's the thing,
night out. Has he matured
yes.
that much?
Yes. Like
Okay,
it is night and day. But the other thing too is like, that doesn't play into my MVP votes. Like the only reason why I bring up the incidents with Miles Powell is because it affected the game and he got kicked out. Like, you know what I mean? Like the value he took away from himself. If you're the most valuable player on the team, you can't be taking yourself out of games because of like that kind of stupidity. And I feel like with Teddy Allen, like whatever happened off the floor, that has nothing to do with how he played on it. Like,
I agree.
Me, it's what happened on the floor.
I agree.
And I'd be saying this if this were someone on Vancouver or wherever. Like, there's a lot of players like Jalen House is a perfect example. Like, he had some things off the floor, but when he was on the floor early in the season, we had him in the MVP conversation because what he was doing was phenomenal, but he didn't stick around long enough. So, like, for me, I don't really buy into, the immaturity or this or that. Like, at the end of the day, like, he was a different person. He has grown up. And for whatever happened, like that's a criminal thing at this point, right? It's a criminal investigation or a police investigation. So, with that stuff there, I can't bring that into what he did on the floor because as a team, you ask anybody on that team, they all love Teddy and all looked at him as a leader. Yeah. And Mike Rainbow himself said that a big reason why he was able to command that room and get the respect of the guys is because he had Teddy Allen's respect, and Teddy Allen was the guy that they looked up to, right? So there's a lot of things that Teddy got a bad rap for that I think he proved wrong this year. And again, you have to zoom out to the whole season, right? You like eliminating recency bias, and that goes for both ways. It's just like the TDM thing. He played really, really well towards the end when the team was clicking, but at the end of the day, you have to look at the whole sample size, which is a 24-game season. And before you got on, one of the other things I talked about in the graphic that we're looking at right now, 34 and a half minutes is what Teddy Allen was playing a game. And he was scoring, almost 28 points a game. That's value that you can't really argue against. Like, he's in there the whole game and doing a lump of your scoring.
His numbers are better across the board. Like, we're looking at
and he played in all 24 games. That's the other thing too, like rewarding that a little bit. He's the only MVP out of the winners. Everybody on that list, he's the only one to play a 24-game season. Khalil Ahmad played a full season in 22, but it was a 20-game season.
The altercation post game in Winnipeg or whatever at the bar, like that makes no difference in an MVP conversation, at least for me. Like, it makes no difference. To your point, Joey, like whatever happens on the floor is what happens on the floor. Like, and this just looking at this comment here, like Mitch Creek said, if I was going to go to the, I said I was going to go to the bar with the boys for 1 beer, and I ended up going for 10. I mean, we all say things like that. And I said this earlier this season on this podcast and on the broadcast and to people around the league. Like, this is what happens when you're in the heat of the moment in a high intensity, high stakes game, playoffs last year, and you're a professional athlete. Like, you get heated, you get it, like we all, adrenaline's pumping, like you want to win and you're passionate about, you're passionate about your team, your teammates, winning, the city, what the fans, whatever. Like, you're going to speak your mind at that moment. And to be honest, like, I think Mitch had a case last year to some extent, right? Like, what a crazy situation last year. I love this comment too.
It's also the emotion. I just want to, before you put that up, Chris, I just want to say real quick, apparently it's Phyllis's birthday. So happy birthday, Phyllis. Thanks for spending it here on Target Score. I always want to say Winnipeg, but we're all represented here. I'm very
Target
happy about
Score. That. This is a great.
According to Bonomi, we're coast to coast.
This is, speaking of a head case,
Coast to coast, man. Oh.
Speaking of a head case. Speaking of a head case.
Cam. Oh,
Suitcase?
my God.
Oh, no.
Tevian Jones. Hey.
Oh, no.
Tevian's a good guy. Let's not jump on Tevian.
I was looking forward to watching him in Brampton, and we saw him for one game, and then he got a technical and he got suspended.
Did he play for all three of these podcasts? Did he play for Winnipeg at all this summer? He did?
Yeah, not this summer. He played last summer. He's played on half of the teams.
All right.
With 2 stops in Saskatchewan, but technically 1 with the Rattlers, 1 with the Mamba. So chop it up as you want.
The thing too, like Wiggins, I agree with you like very much in the sense that you can't base it off stuff that happens off the court. Like just before you hopped on here, that was the point we were making, or I was talking about, and Joey was just nodding as he was nodding off. But I think that makes you like. I think the problem with this is just not enough people watch all these games. Like Teddy is a headline player. Like Teddy's going to grab headlines, right? And the thing that sucks about that is the fact that, again, like Joey, you and I talked about this a month ago before all this voting stuff. Like we got our ballots. Like the fact that some people will vote just based on what they see. And like Miles, 9 target scored time winners. Well, he must be the MVP, right? Like, and that's the other thing that I kind of have a problem with. Like the clutch player award, I get. I mean, you can't argue that. That's literally a factual award. How many target scored time winners you hit gets you that award if you hit the most. But target score time winners, man, like you need a closer, but to me, it's just not a legitimate reason to. And I've had people tell me that they voted for people for MVP because of their ability to close games. Well, I get that. But if you're up 35 points and some guy has 10 target score time winners, like that means nothing to me.
So I'll say this though. Miles Powell, to his credit, had led some comebacks in target score time, particularly early. So.
Absolutely. I'm just more or less saying for the people that don't watch the games that will just go on the website and see 9 target score time winners and then just say that's your MVP because he was the most clutch guy. Like
I agree. Yeah.
It's like the Lakers thing, dude. Sasha Vujacic had 3 rings. You think that guy came off the bench once? That guy was getting coffees for Kobe, man. Like it's that kind of thing. And I'm not saying Miles Powell's that player, but I just think like I'm just trying to get into someone's head to find an angle as to how you would assume Powell had a better season than Allen. And I just don't see that. Like, I can't find the angle there. And again, like, dude, I can't speak for people in Scarborough, but I can guarantee you there were a couple people that probably woke up this morning and said, what? When this got announced in the afternoon, when they saw the post, probably a little stunned that this happened. And I can guarantee you the only person more stunned was Teddy.
Clearly. I mean, he's in the comments saying as much, right?
Can you argue that the clutch player of the year as well doesn't always have to be the amount of target score winners they hit? Like,
no, I agree.
You can be clutch without hitting target score winners, man. Like,
it'd be nice to have a criteria for that. And I think that's the other thing is maybe it's just like clarifying the criteria for these awards. Like what does the league want prioritized when we're making this decision? The other thing I thought is maybe you don't get a vote for your own team.
So I think that is a thing.
Is that a thing? That would make sense if it's a thing.
Well, no, it couldn't be because I like in my vote I was able to vote Teddy Allen for MVP.
So
maybe it's one of those things where it's like, okay, well, you know, the ballots go out to those players because it all X's out anyway. Like everybody would have like 3 votes missing. I'm not saying that is the best way. Like I would prefer to have the full, but if that's the case, it helps you take away the bias of who you might be voting for. Or maybe you do an East-West, like, you know, who's your pick in the East, who's your pick in the West. Great point, Stat Guy Ty, for the clutch player. Maybe it is just the stats, because they do have access. Like we don't have it, but the stats guys have the access to like all of the target score, like just target score time analytics and statistics. So maybe it's that. But for I think in general for these things, there needs to be more of a mandate of what are the things here, right? Like at least give a couple of concrete pillars of like, this is what we're looking for in the MVP. This is what we're looking for in the defensive player of the year. How much, you know, and then you make the choice. How much do you want to lay into stats? How much do you want to lay on the eye test? Because I think there's a mix of both. Like certain players I think are good. They might not pop on the stat sheet, but they have clutch or defensive abilities that are the main reason why a team is seeing success.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe
you're wrong.
Yeah, probably. I believe the NBA will show who landed what vote, like how many votes SGA got, right? How many do we not see that?
No, I don't think there was.
It's just MLB.
Right.
I think MLB does. I don't know if the NFL or whatever they do, but
like,
yeah, and like I'm honestly like it's not really a thing where I'm like, gotcha. Like I don't need to know who votes. I don't need to see like the score. Like I don't believe this in any way was shaded by the league that wanted Miles Powell. Let's say, like,
no,
I don't believe in that narrative.
I don't need to see Joey Slattery's votes. I just need to
see how many points they got. Yeah, and it would be interesting to see like how close was this, right? Like because I get the feeling this was right down the middle, and it might have come down to someone having one guy. Because I'm almost willing to bet every single voter had them at 1 and 2. But interchangeable on what number was which.
And if you didn't, then you're not watching the CEBL.
Like, and if you didn't have that, you were Trenton Flowers. That's the only other option.
I love how he just like shoved himself into that
conversation. I love that guy, man. I could watch that guy all day, man. He's just a 21-year-old kid that wants.
He should be on one of the first, second, or third team all CEBLs. Would you agree?
100%.
Yeah.
If there was a third team, he'd be the first guy on that team.
Yeah. Owen says, hot take, but give the fans a vote. Fans should be attributed 30% of the vote or something like that.
I don't hate it.
But
then you're going to get
the numbers
bored.
The other day, right? Like Brampton posted that thing, 21,000 fans. Thanks for coming out this season. Winnipeg had 12,500 at their finals.
Yeah.
So like 50% of the league's
slope. Yeah.
50% of the league's total fan base comes from one team.
Yeah.
Right?
I think in that we have to like. There's a lot of Teddy love, but that's because like the Sea Bears are, I hate to say this, Matt, because they're your team and I hate this team, but they're kind of the Yankees of the CEBL in the sense of
Yankees fan, Bonomi?
Yankees won 6-1 tonight, by the way, swept the Orioles first sweep
no
since
no one cares.
June, July-ish. Anyway, sorry, 4 back of the Rays for the top of the AL East.
Well,
Go ahead,
let's get back on track here.
90% of our viewers are Winnipeg fans as well.
But that's what I mean. Like Winnipeg's fan base is just so much bigger. So, and of course everybody would agree with that because then Teddy would have won. like that's, Scarborough is not going to rally the borough to get enough people to compete with that. But I just think the clarification, I think there needs to be a little bit more guidance in terms of what defines these awards. More often than not, like even last year, like it was Sean East and Mitch Creek, but it was Mitch Creek. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
for sure.
I feel like everybody was kind of like, no one was like, oh, Sean East got robbed, except for maybe Sean East and the Edmonton Stingers. But this one, we don't normally see it this tight. And I honestly think even like Winnipeg fans aside and bias aside, I still think people would have been like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Like Teddy and Miles, I can live with that. And there's just a lot of people that are like, whoa, like, how does this make sense? Like, not because I'm mad that Teddy didn't win. It's just I don't understand how he didn't win.
Don't you remember the Greg Brown, Mitch Creek comments? After Mitch Creek won, Greg Brown was all over Greg Brown from Calgary was all over the MVP comments. Don't you remember that from last year? And like Corey Davis Jr. jumped in, like some other Bandits guys jumped in to Mitch's defense. And look, Mitch, I mean, I might be a little bit biased, but I think it sounded like you were with, in agreement with me, Joey, that Mitch Creek was definitely the MVP last year. But like, this isn't the first time players have jumped into some comments.
Well, players are gonna defend their guys, whether it's on their team or not, right? Like we know it. There's guys that have dudes on other teams. Yeah, shout out Greg Brown for sure.
Shout out Greg Brown. But Nomi, I wanna hear your thoughts on my like you're not into my Dave DeViro vote. Like,
I just think I love Dave. I know Dave pretty well from TMU. Shout out Aries Cully Bremner, my boy from McMaster that just went to TMU today, transferred. But I just think it's insane to win Coach of the Year if you don't make the playoffs. And again, that sounds really like a basic statement, but I don't know. I just tried to think in my mind, like when you were talking about that earlier today, Wiggins, I was like, you know what? It's a good story. I mean, I like Dave, and I think, don't get me wrong, I think it's really impressive what he did. Like he almost got them into the playoffs. And I mean, for me, that team had a bunch of stars, but their best player wasn't even playing. Evan Gilliard wasn't. And I don't know. It just seems to me like I've never seen a Coach of the Year that's never made the playoffs. Okay, that's my only kind of beef with it.
Make the playoffs, would you go, okay, yeah, that's a solid vote?
100%.
My first vote.
Okay. 100%.
If DeViro coached that team into the playoffs, DeVero would have got my
Edmonton or
first.
something. Yeah.
And you were
would've
that
got my
close,
first
Wiggins.
Yeah,
You're that
I was
close
that
to get.
Okay, I don't know who this is. It's probably it looks like a Sea-Bears fan, but Joey, I don't think you
Cam.
can pull it up fast enough. So I'll just do this. Can you guys?
Cam.
There
Hold on, I'll try to.
Oh, it's backwards.
That's
No, it's
okay.
good. You're good.
Teddy
You're good.
Bucket. No, you're good. In good hands. Don't worry. I'll hold it down 100. A dude who averages 23 on 38. Did you see the comment after that though, Chris?
Yeah, like that's
Where he
why I was
goes,
curious.
You're going to hold 38% of the league. I think he's talking about the comments about the Mitch one because you were saying Greg Brown got in the comments, but we're not going to go down.
Oh,
that.
I'd have to really dive deep.
Yeah,
But there were requests for those comments earlier, though. There were requests.
That's amazing.
Oh man, this is so good that we have this now. Like I was watching this today, and I'm like, man, just after everything finished on a high and in Winnipeg and this record crowd and everything, and now you've got
dude, but
players
here's
in
the
the
thing,
league duking it out
like
on the keyboard.
We'll see. Like, and for everybody who just joined in, thank you. You're watching the Target Score CBL Reactions episode. I'm Joey Slattery. We got Matt Bonomi and Chris Wiggins. But this is the thing. Like, we have something to break down. This is why I enjoy this. And then we have this because we have a place to air it out. Like people are in the comments, like pissed off, and they're letting we all have a place and a platform to do this. But I don't hate the thing I love about this is that people care. Like people are legitimately PO'd at this decision. And the league is going to eat it a little bit, even though they shouldn't. Again, the league just hands out the vote, like the vote cards, and we send it back. So this falls on individuals, both local and nationally. And this is what makes it fun. Everybody has a different idea of what it is. Again, like I said before, it's not like Miles Powell. Like this is like the biggest like upset in the world. Like, you know, that he's like a guy that wasn't even up for sixth man wins MVP. Like this guy had a great season on the best team. There's definitely an argument. We just happen to disagree with it being the argument for him to win over what Teddy did.
And I think this does matter to Teddy, obviously. Like, as you can see, he's upset, or at least he's showing us that he appears upset. But I genuinely think, dude, in the back of my head, in my mind, he doesn't care that much. He's already won an MVP, and he just got something that he hasn't won yet, which is a finals. Like, congrats to Miles Powell, but I don't think Teddy, like, bro, Teddy got Teddy didn't play in the playoffs, but Teddy was one of the big reasons as to why this team was what they were at this point in the season. And to me, it's like, that's a no-brainer. Like, dude, enjoy your MVP. I mean, take it and go do what you want with it. But at the same time, too, I really don't think, like, Teddy's got it all, man.
No,
Teddy,
man.
like,
Teddy is sitting poolside in Phoenix, Arizona, behind his keyboard today.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? Like, he doesn't care. I agree with you.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
Yeah. Okay, so we're all in agreement here. We could beat this to death.
I want to hear Wiggins, Canadian Player of the Year.
Oh, buddy. Yeah, Chris. I don't know if you're ready for us on this.
Okay. Here's what I'll say about this, and I said this to Andrew Savory. Andrew Savory and I were talking about this today. It's like, I love the guy. I enjoy watching Tyrese. He's a great guy to be around. But it's crazy how he won Canadian Player of the Year in a down year for Tyrese.
Dare I say, this was a reputation vote.
Well, I'll also say this. He is now a household name. Donovan Bennett and I were talking about this today. That's exactly what Donovan said. He just said...
Sorry, you might want to pick up that name you dropped there just behind you.
Donovan Bennett. Well, I'm just saying, like, it adds context to this conversation. Like, I said the exact same comment because what I did, I wanted Donovan to see the Teddy buckets and the Miles Powell stuff, and he didn't because he's on vacation. And then I just said, like, it's crazy. I said, it's crazy how Tyrese wins Canadian Player of the Year in a down year. It also shows a bit of the Canadian talent gap. Yeah. And then to your point, Joey, Donovan said, or confirmation bias. He's a household name now, and he will get the benefit of the doubt.
Paul Maurice once said, before Connor Hellebuck won his first Vezina, he said, you tend to win these awards a year after you actually won these awards. Like, you got to get yourself in the conversation. Because my hot take here, maybe, Chris, is I don't even think he was the best Canadian on his team. I thought Shamar Givens was a more outstanding Canadian and more important Canadian for the Vancouver Bandits.
You could certainly make that argument and not sound crazy about it. I asked Shamar before playoffs. I was like, your name's being tossed around by some of the broadcasters in this league about Canadian Player of the Year. What do you think about that? And he was like, me? But I I would agree he was more valuable to this team in the second half of the season, right? Shamar, it was Shamar. I would argue it was Shamar's best CEBL season.
Shamar was the best Canadian in the second half of the season. Again, going back to my original thing, like zoom out all the way.
Yes.
But that guy was an important guy off the bench all year and really stepped up as probably the best Canadian down the stretch.
I wish you could filter on the stats page on CEBL.ca by Canadian. Like, I wish you could do that, and just like,
yeah.
Right, like
I'm sure we can.
Maybe you can.
Well, you can do it on the player stats page. Yeah,
You can.
Exactly why I would ask you. Then the top scorer in the league from Canada is Sean Miller-Moore.
Yeah.
Why does Sean Miller-Moore not win the award?
Look,
going back to the playoff argument, like I didn't have Ruggsy as great of a season as he had, and he was the best Canadian. It's hard for me. That is like one of those values that I have on. It's like you have to be. If I'm going to put you on there and you're not in the playoffs, like it would have to be phenomenal. And I think what Teddy did this year in terms of the records, like they would take that kind of performance for me to put a vote for a team or a players whose team didn't make the playoffs. And the argument for Ruggsy, though, where I do feel bad, is a lot of the games they lost, he wasn't there.
Like Shamar was 10-10. You could even argue James Karnick had a bunch of better nights than Tyrese did, right? Like he was mismanaged down the stretch. Very vocal about it on his Instagram about, what happened with him, not being able to play in that Western Conference final. But, 19 minutes a game, 13.5 points a game, where are his rebounds here? 9 rebounds a game. Like that's not that far behind Tyrese Samuel, right?
Dude. No, it's fair. I think Tyrese got a little love from last year carryover.
100% he did. No,
and he's a very talented basketball player.
Yes,
I don't think he was the Canadian of the year this year. Okay, I wasn't sure. I thought that was going to be a little more contentious, Chris. I'm very impressed with your with you on this one.
No.
Okay. All right, do you have anything to add on the Canadian of the year, Matt, before we move on here? Let's pause already 45 minutes.
Who would you have picked, Joey? Sorry.
Actually, that's what I was trying to do. Okay, I'll bring up my vote so I can show you.
I picked Ruggsy, Tyrese, and then I think I had Quincy.
I believe mine was Tyrese, Ruggsy, and I can't think of the third one. But
I don't even think I had Quincy actually. Who was my third one?
I like Ruggsy, man. He's a great dude too. So like,
that would be my legacy pick. That's like my legacy pick.
Like at what point?
That would be a fair.
I mean, does the legacy conversation come into that pick too? Right? Like, I mean, if you speak about household names with Tyrese, don't you think Ruggsy Miller-Moore is a big like? I mean, I don't know.
100%. It can go either way, right?
Right.
So I had Shamar Givens.
You
Frank
had
Mitchell.
All respect to you.
Shamar Givens, Frank Mitchell, and Quincy Guerrier.
I had Frank.
And Quincy Guerrier is funny because it does kind of go against what I was saying earlier, but Montreal was right in the hunt until the end. And I think from an important standpoint, like Quincy Guerrier is the most important player on that team. So I had no problem putting him for a 1-point vote on that. But I still think he played better than Tyrese.
Good for you picking Shamar. That's awesome.
I had Frank as my number one.
Canadian Player of the Year?
Yeah, I had Frank as my number one.
Nice.
Yeah. I like people, like every time we do one of these, I get comments on Instagram or whatever saying like, you don't like Scarborough. And I'm like, well, dude, I love Scarborough. Do I love everything about Scarborough? Being a Brampton guy, especially after what happened? No, probably not, because I'm a big fan of the team that I work for, do the games, but I love Frank Mitchell, man. I've said that multiple times in the broadcast. He's a character.
See,
he's into it. He's fun to watch. He's entertaining. He's just like a big kid.
So unlike maybe Davis.
And I'll say this, unlike
exactly, Wiggins.
It's like the opposite of Tyrese Samuel. It's almost like people didn't want to vote for him because they knew he was going to get sixth man. But at the end of the day, if you're the sixth man and the best Canadian, then vote for both. But I honestly thought Shamar Givens was the best Canadian, and maybe that was because I was zooming in too much in the second half. But I thought I was giving a lot of good looks to his sixth man stuff too, and coming off the bench. I mean, this is a guy, you want to talk about the confirmation bias or whatever. That was the first guy Kyle Julius targeted last year.
Yeah.
Right. To build his team and how important he was for that exact fact that he's an egoless guy who can come off the bench, but can fill in the starter's role and interchange in between. So I thought, like Shamar Givens, I thought was totally overlooked this year because he wasn't only doing it offensively. That guy was a menace on the defensive side. And
Shamar was unbelievable this year.
He was gathering steals like crazy, man.
His best night was that night in Montreal when Tevin Brown put up that ridiculously bad, shot and target score time.
Yeah. You're going to talk about that until the day you die.
Yeah, I know. I couldn't stand that possession. It wouldn't have mattered anyways.
Like the Tevin Brown shot in Montreal. Like this is going to be like when Chris Wiggins writes his Bill Simmons book of Canadian basketball. There's going to be like a whole chapter dedicated to the Hall of Shame shot.
Oh, man, but that was Shamar. Like Shamar won that game for them. Like he did, right? He really did.
Yeah. But I agree with you, and he hits Wiggins shots and target score time too.
Wiggins just going to turn around, just fire his fist right through that closet door behind him, whatever that is.
Kevin Brown. Oh,
Chris,
man. It's true though. I remember we were going back and forth to text you and I, Chris.
My mom's sitting downstairs with the dog. I can't stay on here too much.
Okay, sorry. Let's get through it, man. We don't want to keep. And also thank Mama Wiggins for us for allowing you to go upstairs and play with us.
Also, before we continue, Wiggins, you mentioned Donovan Bennett. That was dope the other day. Just want to say that was a great talk.
Yeah,
with,
dude, great pod with Don.
Especially Donovan, dude.
Donovan. I kind of hijacked the idea from Joey because like Donovan really asked Joey about being on Joey's podcast, and I was like, okay, great, we've got one more episode left. I'll get him on mine. So I apologize, Joey. For
to be fair, I was like, I was like, hey, Donovan, like. You're going to come on mine, right? He's like, with all due respect, Joey, bleep off. I want to be with Chris Wiggins. I want to go on the Real Deal show.
He's only human. He's only human. Yeah, no, thank you. I'm glad. It was really cool. And like, I'm glad that he asked us the questions because he asked us the questions that I was a little too like, not sure if I should ask him the questions because, like CBC, CEBL, I didn't want to get him in trouble. Like, didn't want to put him on the spot without him knowing the questions were coming. But like, those questions were the ones that needed to be asked, and the journalist in him came out. So yeah, no, it was a great call. It was a great chat. He was
and if you guys haven't seen it, it's on. If you go on the YouTube page, go to the Vancouver playlist on the weekly show. It was a great conversation with Donovan Bennett where he flips the script a little bit on Chris and Andrew and asks them the questions. He was reading
comments too. He was like thanking people in the comments. Like he was just like all of a sudden the host of the show. It was awesome.
It's like he was in his natural habitat.
Like you guys suck at hosting, so I'll just take over.
Like he's done this before. All right, let's move on. Coach of the year, Terrell Vernon. The finalist was who was it now?
Do you have that info?
It's somewhere. I don't have it up though. Someone will remind me in the
Rainbow. Was Rainbow finalist?
I don't think it was. That's why.
I mean, I would imagine he received a few picks.
Okay, so
could you argue Rand's Brempong should have had a few picks?
Yes, I think Rand's Brempong was kind of like the opposite of Dave DeViro. It's almost like if he had a little more runway with as a head coach.
Didn't hijack the playoffs, maybe like.
That too. But even so, I don't think again goes up to the playoffs, right? But I had Tyrell Vernon as my top vote.
I also picked Tyrell Vernon.
I had Tyrell Vernon, Isaiah Fox, and Mike Rainbow.
Isaiah Fox was my third.
Yeah. I thought Isaiah Fox, the way he progressed throughout the season and got his team like playing their best for playoffs, like that's all you can ask for from a coach. Wow. And Mike Rainbow obviously deserved a vote. I actually thought this one was hard because I knew Tyrell Vernon was going to get it. You lead your team to 20 points, and I know they had a stacked team, but that's a lot of personalities to manage, and I think that's what he was there for. He was always even keeled, and he was the only one that didn't lose his cool. I think they absolutely needed that.
Yeah, that was probably the biggest. I had the same order as you, Joey. I think that was the biggest. Everybody put your anti-Scarborough egos aside and vote for the guy that set a record this year, leading a team of characters who, I mean, let's be honest, there are 12 different currents in that pool. So what side of the pool is going to flood first and up onto the pool deck? I mean, you really don't know. And he was able to keep all the water in the right area. So he did a really good job with that. Again, managing all those personalities, man, is that's the one thing in this league. That's when I look at Vic Razzo and clap my hands thinking, man, that guy did that for how many years as the longest tenured head coach in this league's history. And and won. And
and he had to eat a lot of crud through the first 4 years,
dude. And like the amount of time, the amount these rosters change for people that don't know, like sometimes you have like 25 players on your team throughout the year, right?
Yeah.
Like you don't know like who you're getting, mix and match, and like sometimes you got to swallow bad decisions sometimes. Like there's a lot of stuff that goes into this. So for Tyrell to do that, I mean, a talented roster, but also the right guy, the right conductor leading the choir.
The other cool thing, 2 of the 3 in my list are U Sports guys, and one won the coach of the year, the other won the championship. So that's pretty cool. 2 Canadian coaches having a mark in the pros. So do you want to add to this, Chris, before we move on?
No, I don't know. I agree, and I had my 3 were Tyrell Vernon, Dave DeViro, and Isaiah Fox. I get
behind those. I actually really like that you threw Dave DeViro in there because I felt like he deserved some sort of shout out. So getting a vote. Touch. Yeah, sure. I can get behind that.
I guess the CEBL emailed you like the signed copy that you submitted, so I just found it. So I know all my picks here because
that's what I did too. I know.
Sixth man of the year, defensive player of the year. I really had to remember what I picked. So I actually picked Shamar first for 6th man of the year.
Okay, so let's go on to that. Are we all in agreement though? Like no one really is upset that Frank Mitchell got this.
I agree.
So who did you have? You had Shamar Givens.
I had Shamar, Frank Mitchell, and Keon Ambrose Hilton.
Yeah, I can get behind those. I had Frank Mitchell, Shamar Givens, and Justin Harmon.
Okay, you had Keon Ambrose Hilton in there, right?
Indeed.
Interesting. Let me pull mine up. What was 6th man? I had Frank as my number 1 for sure. I'm high on the Frank.
Yeah, Frank. Like to me, it was just like I was just giving votes to like the guys that weren't going to win. Essentially, I had Frank. Frank in the 6th man was basically my lock of the whole thing. Like I didn't have Teddy as a lock. I knew it was going to be tight. I just thought he would. I thought he was going to pull out. I thought he was the most deserving for the MVP.
Sorry.
This guy's got the
Sorry, Joey. Just run that audio back 20 seconds.
I heard what I said. Child.
6th man, and let me pull up the 6th man of the year. One sec. D would be looking at me and he'd be like, idiot. I had Frank Mitchell, Stanley Davis Jr., and Justin Harmon.
Jeez, like all 3 were slightly different.
Yeah, and Stanley Davis Jr. I thought was fine too. That was another one, but again, it was like Frank Mitchell and the rest. You could basically pick whatever too. No one was coming close.
Exactly. Yeah,
I'm willing to bet that he was number 1. Okay, defensive player of the year, Kellen Tynes from the Scarborough Shooting Stars.
Yep,
not on my vote card
at all.
Oh,
no, okay. Who did you have?
I had Bediako, Jeremiah Tillman, and Alex Fudge.
Okay, all fair. I had Alex Fudge, Kellen Tynes, Jaden Bediako.
Yeah. Okay. So, yeah.
But I really went back and forth between Fudge and Tynes, so I'm not shocked.
Did you consider Jeremiah Tillman Jr. at all?
Yes, but not ahead of those guys.
All right. Okay.
I had Bediako, Tynes, and Sean East for his theft ability. But Joey, you and I talked about this too. Like, this award has been so guard heavy. Yeah. Like I think the last time we had someone win was like EJ Onu in 2021 or 2022. That was the last time a big one.
Yeah, and last year it was between. Remember the finalists were both on Calgary. It was Jameer Nelson Jr. and Greg Brown.
And Brown, right? And Nelson won that one.
I think if I recall correctly, I voted for Jameer. And Greg second, and I really struggled with that because I'm like, I don't know what I value more. What's that, Chris?
I just imitated. If I recall correctly, I don't.
Well,
I can't remember what it's from. Probably Family Guy.
That's the thing with this award. This award just feels like it's like a guard award now. Like it only belongs really on the perimeter, and I think that's. I mean, like Wiggins, I'm kind of with you, man. Like, yeah, there you go, Brampton Honey Badgers legend Jameer Nelson.
Like like when you think NBA Defensive Player of the Year, like you think Kevin Garnett, you think big guys, like you think, oh God, I'm freezing at the moment, but
who'd you have again? You had Fudge. Who else?
I had one sec. I
Tillman,
had
Fudge,
Bediako, Jeremiah Tillman Jr. I thought like should deserve some votes, and Alex Fudge.
Yeah, so a bunch of block machines. I mean, there was a couple of people that I talked to too before and after the voting that had Fudge on their list big time. I mean, Ottawa led the league in blocks, and Fudge, again, for anybody who watched, was like, dude, I think we did a game where he had like 4 blocks or 5 blocks. And I'm thinking, like, this guy, like, that's more than some guys will get in an entire year. And he's doing it in a single game, right? Like he had like 3 or 4 blocks a game for like a stretch of like 5 games.
And I don't have the stats in front of me, but I like Tynes had a mix of both steals and blocks. I thought he was a very versatile defender, and that's
he's a small guy too.
Yeah.
The night for me that Jeremiah Tillman deserved a vote was the night he had career highs. Joey,
6 blocks.
Yes, I forget who they played, but he had 6 blocks. He had career highs in points, rebounds, blocks.
That might have been against Ottawa, actually.
Yeah. Like that
Who
was
this again?
That Jeremiah Tillman Jr.
Tillman.
One night late in the year, he had career highs in points, assists, blocks, and steals in one night. And that was the night I was like, that guy's getting a vote from me.
Yeah, that was.
It's funny because I was trying not to lean into that for like too much, because I was like, like that's where I was like, don't get sucked in, because it was a phenomenal. Like I would say defensive performance of the year. If we had to come down to one game, it would be that game and that man for sure.
It was against Ottawa. Yeah, good memory. Whoever said against Ottawa, I don't know if it was you, Joey, that said that. But 22 points, and then he had 6 blocks, which is...
here we go. Look at this. Gobert, Dwight Howard, Wallace, Mutombo, like KG, Patrick Ewing. Like, these are all the guys you think of, shot blockers, right? That's, I mean, in the NBA, it's usually bigs that win Defensive Player of the Year.
I think that it's true, and I think the funny thing is like, blocks are great, but I would say like a high percentage of blocks don't end up in your possession.
Yeah.
Like I remember when I was in high school, our coach would be like, whatever, they swatted you out of the gym. Like it's still our possession.
Yeah.
The difference with steals for me is they often turn into direct points.
This is why I think there should be a FIBA rule about blocks. I think a block should only count if your team gets possession after the block.
That guy
or you like grab the basketball off the rim or something. Like, how in FIBA you can play it off the rim. Like, I think that should count as a block. Like, there should be something further than just like, because to me it's cool. It's TV. If somebody swats it into the third row and then and I guess all 3 of us in here are play-by-play guys now, Wiggins. But the fact
there was
that
a comment earlier about that. One sec, let me find it.
You can come up with a big call or something cool, but it's just deflating because it's like, oh, what a block. And then it's like, oh, by the way, it's the other team's ball still because it went into the third row and you didn't grab it. There you go. Stat Guy Ty, 3-play guy, play-by-play guy.
I like this one from Stat Guy Ty, though, like how he just put them head to head. So Tynes had 49 steals, 13 blocks. Fudge had 25 steals, 40 blocks. And to me, I would say the 25 steals and the 40 blocks is a tougher one to get. But again, not to take away, like, almost 50 steals is nuts.
I mean, again, even more reason for Fudge in the sense that it's even, and this is like a 6'7" guy that doesn't leave the key really. So to have that many steals, I mean, again, those are probably all not happening in the middle of the key. He has to be moving around enough to, like, he's also a freak athlete too, for people that haven't watched Alex Fudge play. So I don't know, but then again, like Kellen Tynes, Joe, you said he had 13 blocks there. I mean, that's pretty good for a guy that's basically. Well, how tall is Savory? I feel like Savory's like 6'2".
Savory's probably 6'1".
Okay, so that's like Kellen Tynes, I guess, like in and around there somewhere. But Savory getting 13 blocks, I mean, I would vote for him, right?
I would vote for him too.
That's an admirable thing.
I gotta go. My mom bought me dinner and she's sitting alone with my dog, so I gotta go.
Okay, so before you go, Dev Player of the Year, did you have Easton Tim?
I did, yes, I did.
And did you have Mike Thompson for your official of the year?
Wait, ask your dog who he had for Fox 40.
Did we vote on those? I don't know if we voted.
No, those ones were not voted on.
Developmental Player of the Year, I had Easton Tim, Bronson Chambers, and Phoenix Wise.
Okay, I had for that one. Where are we?
I'm not gonna lie to you, like
up top.
The last name I don't really know. Like
I had Easton Tim, Muhammad Mahadi, and Ayub Nur Hussein.
Ayub Nur Hussein. Ontario Tech's finest.
Category. Sask just rolled that category.
Yeah, big time. Yeah. Okay, Wiggins, say hi to Mama Wiggs for us.
And thanks, Wiggins.
Yeah.
Have a good one.
I love you. Bye.
Bye. Glad that's over. Just kidding, Chris. Bye.
He's still on the stage. He's coming back.
Still here.
Okay, we can wrap this up here. Matthew, Easton Tim. I thought, it's funny because my eye test, I was like, because Easton Tim didn't play here at least one of the games in Winnipeg, and I thought Mahadi, like, I forgot he was a U Sports guy when he was playing, because he was playing so consistently in the rotation for Saskatoon. But what Easton Tim did there, like, you know, Bediako was their true big, but before he was there, Easton Tim was kind of holding it down, and he was I also think it's really hard for a big to play with men out of university in the pros. Like, I think it's a little bit easier for guards when you have to be physical with those guys, and the numbers that he put up. I thought it was admirable. So I would have been shocked if he didn't win it this year.
That's like Jordan Chuente. Like, we watched Chuente. He was a U Sports guy when the draft still existed in this league. Came from Brock, and then he went to Niagara, and he's been with Niagara ever since. And this was his breakout year. Like, he was a big. He had to wait to kind of fill his body out and get in a point where he could bang bodies and hang around with the big guys down low. But this award is so interesting to me, Joey, because I don't think the league can afford to lose it. And I say that because every year we vote on it, it gets harder and harder and harder to pick guys because they just don't play. And that's no disrespect to Easton Tim, because for Saskatchewan to get, or for the Saskatoon Mamba to get two players in the top three there, or at least nominated. Well, they were top two, right? It was Tim and
the two Mamba guys and Mahadi,
and like, so that to me is good, but just play the guys. Like, this award to me was so fun to vote for back in the day when you had Canadian guys coming out of U Sports and actually playing.
Yeah,
and you
Simon
can't
Hildebrandt,
that,
David Walker,
like,
Diego Mafia.
Exactly, like, you cannot lose that, and that should be a cry to the, like, this is the cry to the league to please continue to pick Canadian talent, because you cannot lose this award, because that's the day that you basically wave the flag and say, well, we have no young Canadian talent here that we can put in this league, and it is what it is. And that's the thing that traps me a lot. Like, we had this conversation on the post-game finals the other day too. Like, there needs to be more of a hunt for Canadian talent in this league. Like, this cannot just be bring in as many. And again, the American players or imports are great, but it cannot just cater to a certain group of people. I mean, and I say that sounds contradictory because I'm saying cater to Canadians, but as Donovan said with Wiggins the other day, this is literally the Canadian Elite Basketball League. And I just feel like, in a way, some of that stuff has teetered off to the point where I'm expecting in the coming years that they're going to get rid of the rule. Like, there's going to be no.
It's a dangerous slope, because here's the thing: like, Winnipeg has had 2 pro basketball teams before this, and the league's folded. Right? There was no Canadian contingent. They were playing against American teams, and it just didn't draw like the Sea Bears do. And I think a big part of that is because you see local faces, you see them contributing, like a Simon Hildebrandt, which is like the, peak of what that could be. But also they're playing teams that they know, and cities that already have rivalries, like the Saskatoons. You don't have to look on a map where Calgary is, or Edmonton, or Saskatoon, right? But like, man, like the Gold Eyes, for instance, I love the Gold Eyes. There's like 3 teams I have no idea where they're from. Like, it's like the Lake County whatever Ducks. It's like, well, where the hell's Lake County? Like, and like most of the cities or regions I don't know because I'm not from there. So I think, I agree with you. And honestly, like, the U Sports level's only getting higher. I think the problem is it's because more guys like Simon are happening. They start in U Sports and then they jump over to NCAA and they're no longer eligible. And I know that was something the league was trying to do. They can partner with the NCAA in some way where it's like, hey, let's let our best Canadian college guys come here and play with the pros. But there's a lot very strict rules when it comes to that with the NCAA and playing pro and eligibility and things like that. So I'm okay with it being U Sports guys, but it is going to be harder to find those guys, and you might only get them for year 1 or 2, because I think the value of them getting this opportunity is getting those NCAA looks as well. Yeah,
that's a very good counterpoint. Adam Johnson, Canadian talent makes the CEBL unique. Yeah, like, I mean, you just had the biggest moment in, I mean, you could argue CEBL history. Canadian guy hits the winner in front of the largest crowd in league history as well, in his hometown. And that's a former U Sports Developmental Player of the Year. Like, I just look for little things. And again, there's so many positives that we've celebrated on this podcast throughout the year, but you also, again, pay attention to both sides, right? And when I see something diminishing or something that is slowly kind of losing its glare, then or shine, then I say, well, why is that happening, right? And in this case, that Developmental Player of the Year award, like, again, I think most people would probably tell you it was very hard to vote for that award, not because it's hard to pick someone that wins, but because it's hard to find 5 guys that are getting enough minutes in order to earn a spot on your ballot, or however many you may vote for, right? And that's one of those things that it's just, I don't know. I really want that. Like, I'm happy that award is still on there, and that's one of the things that they haven't gotten rid of, or that hasn't been changed, I should say. Not that everything's changing, but I'm saying that's one of the things that's still there, and I think that needs to remain a constant for and I wish U Sports was back in front of it. I mean, I would love to see U Sports Developmental Player of the Year, but I mean,
and I'm okay. Honestly, I'm okay with CCAA too. Like, there's a lot of those diamonds in the rough. Like, the athletics and some of the athletes in the college ranks are fine. I think it'll naturally be U Sports. It's just, a lot more. I think the talent level, generally speaking, is a lot more. It's a lot higher. But I'll bring this up from Adam. Winnipeg Cyclones versus the Black Hills Posse in the old IBA. Try to get a map and exactly. Like, I don't care if I miss that game. But you give me the Calgary Surge or the Vancouver Bandits, I'm a lot more. I'm looking forward to it a lot more. This is from Coach Sung. CEBL needs to partner more with U Sports counterparts to market the U Sports game throughout the university season to help promote their development players and draft picks. I think that goes hand in hand. I agree with you 100%.
Niagara.
Go ahead.
Sorry, no, go ahead. Go.
Well, I was going to say, like, one of the things that I've thrown out is every year they're trying to figure out nationals and conference titles and where they're going to have the championships and who's going to host it. My thing is, like, it should be partnered with the CEBL team where you can get a little help with the CEBL marketing, play in the quote neutral site that is hosted by the CEBL team, which all these players will aspire to play at some point. And then you kind of have a co-marketing thing going on where they can help with the ticket sales and promoting it throughout the year while the school's worried about its own athletics. But also the U Sports gets the added value of fans here. And we had it in our comments where people like, are you going to cover U Sports? Because some people are only discovering it now through the CEBL or maybe vice versa, right? Where you could be like, I saw Simon Hildebrand in the conference finals or in the national finals on, in Canada Life Center or at, CAA Center or whatever. But I think there's, I agree with Eric here in saying that I think there's an opportunity for more partnerships, even if it's not like that big, but just having that, like, Winnipeg, like, here's our Manitoba schools, Saskatchewan, here's our Saskatchewan schools, Edmonton and Calgary can do the same thing. Maybe you have like a sponsored player, right? Maybe you're sponsoring like the CEBL prospect of the month, right? Is this player to kind of build some traction before they get into the league? I think it's a great idea.
One of the best things that the Brock Badgers did back when I used to do those games was Niagara River Lions night. So they would have the River Lions players come out, the River Lions dance crew would be there. It was like a whole thing that Michelle Biscup and that excellent front office put together. But it was kind of a thing of like, here's the team, here's what you can look at. And by the way, some of the guys that are on this team that you're watching on the floor right now, the Brock team, are going to be on this team at the Meridian Center downtown St. Catharines one day too, right? And that's such an easy segue. Like, I think, like, again, if you looked at the GTA, for example, I mean, being in this area, Scarborough Shooting Stars, the Brampton Honey Badgers, like, you have TMU, you have University of Toronto. There are options for, like, you have Mohawk College, Sheridan, like, powerhouse programs here, right? Like, there are so many options for this. And again, I of course selfishly would love U Sports guys to come onto the scene and drop 30 points a game and be the Simon Hildebrands of the world. But the reality is that's not the case, and it may take some more massaging, like Jordan Chuente, like I mentioned a minute ago, about how he kind of broke into the league and cut his teeth and then earned his stripes. But there needs to be more of that. I mean, I feel like we're seeing too much of this one and done kind of thing, and we saw it in Brampton this year. Bronson Chambers, who got into the game late in the season, made his CEBL debut, and that guy worked his tail off, man, in practice every single day. And the shoot-arounds before the game, he was out there with
Nate
Sean
Balamu
East
last
3 hours.
year was that for Winnipeg, yeah, 100%.
Right? Like, exactly. Like, there are opportunities and platforms, and these guys are working. It's just that I hope that stage remains available for them to kind of have the ability, because, I mean, it's easy sometimes to say, like, man, what's this guy doing on the roster, right? Like, and back in the day, it was like, well, we need to have these guys on the roster, right? Like, it's a league requirement to have a U Sports or whatever it may be, right? Like, you make the draft and whatever. Like, but now it's nice that to the point where it could get to, yeah, we want to have these guys on the roster, right? Like, it's not like we're just throwing 12 Americans on our team and waiving that rule completely about having Canadians on your roster. And that's one of the things that Mike Morreale did such a good job of building, right? Like, that's the whole base of this league. And every time I see that award, the more and more I look at it, I'm like, This kills me. And that's also why I'm happy Canadian Player of the Year is still there too, right? Like I don't want that to go anywhere either, but it just needs to pump. There needs to be a little more Canada. I mean, the same amount, but just little more would be nicer. And then
if you take out the Canadian rule, then the Canadian player will get watered down too, because then we're going to start talking about guys that are like just on the bench, right? They got 7 minutes of playing time, therefore he's the best Canadian. No, I agree with you on that. But I think you have a very strong argument with the dev player. And I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, people in the chat, but I think the CEBL's also brought a lot more attention to university basketball as well, right, on the weekends. Like I'm seeing more people out at Bison's games, especially when Simon was still playing there. You're seeing more people come out to downtown Winnipeg for a cheap night watching great basketball. Like even today, the Winnipeg Westmen were playing the University of South Dakota Thursday at 1 o'clock, and they probably had like 50 to whatever, somewhere in the 50 to 100 range, maybe a little, not that much. Stat guy Ty would know, he was there. But they had people showing up on a 1 o'clock in the afternoon game, both Tuesday and Thursday this week for an exhibition. So I do think there's value in here, and I think we're sleeping on the U Sports, and that'd be a whole other episode because I get right into that, but we'll hold that for another day. Clutch Player of the Year, Miles Powell. No one had a say in that anyway, so it is what it is. And Fox 40 Officiating Recognition Award. Look, Matt's number one guy, Mike Thompson. I was a little shocked that Perry Stothard didn't get a nod. If that happened, that was the coach or the ref that Mike Rainbow called out in a post game. So I think there might have been riots if he won that and Teddy didn't get MVP in Winnipeg.
Oh my god! I don't think. You know what I can tell you who was not on the ballot? That guy.
Yeah,
for sure. And
I was shocked
left him off the ballot. Everyone in the greater Winnipeg area.
Dude, it was fun. I remember he was not in the finals, in the CEBL finals. But he was in the West final. And I thought if Winnipeg loses this game and it comes down to a call from that guy, like I don't know if he'll ever be allowed in Manitoba again.
Dude, that's the last place I would ever want to botch a call. I mean, again, with a full Canada Life Center, like you botch that call in I don't know, in the game up in the, where was it? The Yukon? Game up in the Yukon where no one even knows who you are, then it is what it is. You can live with it. But the fact that you're botching it in front of the biggest fan base in the league and you don't, I mean, oh my gosh, I was kind of hoping Fox 40, I was like, maybe they'll get this guy through and we can have something to talk about here. But Mike Thompson, my guy. I've received a couple messages about him. Apparently he's a stand-up guy. So I will shake your hand through screen, Mike.
See, that's why you've never heard of him. He's a great ref. Never becomes the story.
That's exactly what. Well, it's like Joe Rasso says all the time, man. Joe says there's always two refs on the court. The one that makes the wrong calls, not you, Mike, but Joe as well. And Joe said, as a coach, you never make the wrong call. So
yeah,
he's a perfect ref. That was
100%.
terrible. That was a terrible thing to say there. That made no sense. But to me, it made sense. I heard Joe saying in the back of my head, I'm like, yep, this makes sense.
That's so funny.
Oh man, just
all
awful.
Right. Man, we've been going at this for a while here.
Yeah, it's 6
thanks
a.m.
everybody
for
tuning
right
in.
now.
This was a ton of fun. If you just tuned in, catch the replay. We really got into it at the top with the MVPs, and we tried to get the rest of it in a timely fashion. But hey, it is what it is. I love the passion. Thanks to everybody in the chat. Again, you guys were awesome. A lot of people pissed about Teddy not getting it. Totally understand. I think a lot of people are there. What's the whole?
I just need to bring this up because this was on before.
So for those, that's Andrea, and she was at our live show at Monday's Cafe, and we almost didn't have power because I didn't have an extension cord, but she saved the day, but also made Taylor Allen go get an extension cord for fun. So that was fun that we were all in on that. Thanks, Eric. Appreciate you, man. Love doing this and love the support. If you haven't already, like this episode, subscribe to the channel, and have those notifications on. Both Brampton and Winnipeg have one more episode left. In Winnipeg, we're trying to get a live show. Don't know where yet. Going to try somewhere new. So let us know if you'd be into that. And we would have a little fan appreciation night, if you will, somewhere in Winnipeg. Brampton going to be doing theirs next week too. Might have a special guest. We will have to wait and see. But yeah, follow me at Joey Slattery TV on Instagram, at Matt Bonomi on Instagram to follow him. We always love getting in the DMs and talking some hoops. So yeah, appreciate you guys making the time here tonight. I hope everybody has a great night. Yes, right now. What it is.